Oh,
What's going on?
not much. Thought
Got
it was
good amount of pre-sign-ups today.
Yeah. All right. Let's go ahead and pop through them then. How you guys doing in chat? We're gonna go ahead and go through these teams.
What up, chat?
Need to know what moves to make guys in your leagues are scared to trade. That's normally how things work. In theory, you want to move Chuba. Same with Mason, but like their timelines are pretty good for now.
How many more weeks does Chube have until the return of Brooks now?
Well, it's like till week 10 is kind of
Yeah.
my thought process for this. It's like that's still a solid at least about 4 or 5 weeks at minimum for you, which I like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Picks or dubs this week. How are we doing, everyone? Devonta for Deontay Johnson. Not if Devonta Adams is about to be a New York Jet. That is the big question mark. I don't know. Like, this is just a really strong team, man. Like, I don't know if I'd really want to trade away anything in the case that, like, Rice is healthy. You have DJ Moore chilling. In theory, you need to build up a stronger running back, but, like, these two are powerhouses until McCaffrey and Jonathan Brooks become things. So, Trey Sermon sucks. I don't know what to tell you, Ryan Peabody.
Yeah, and I feel like this person has plenty of pieces to trade out from if they want to when that time does come as well. So
yeah. Like I don't have anything to say about this team. Not like I'm generally like sitting here trying to like think of something to say about this team, but it's just like I like it. Like sometimes it's just a good team. Like Pacheco will be back for playoffs. We don't know about Rice. In theory, you need to build up your running back. That's really all it is. Yeah, strong team, man. All right, moving on to the next one. Bo 10-man PPR. Brees Achane, I still like the squad. Diggs worthy, fun for now. Chuba chilling. And that is your bench. I mean, yeah, strong squad once again. Like the thing is, like Chuba is a bit difficult in the sense of how to properly value him, and I do not have access to the Discord link right now. See if I can figure it out.
shoot.
Actually, I might be able to. Let's see. Will my Discord? Yeah, it'll work.
Cool. Let me double check that I can see that in the chat.
That's correct. But yeah, another really strong team. You got Brees, Achane, Diggs, Worthy, Kraft, Chuba, but you also have Bell on the bench, along with Cup, who will be back in the future, and Zay. Really strong here. Not much to be said. Like, your receivers are stacked. You can realistically rotate your flex as need be. Nothing really to be said. Nice squad. Who wins? Deontay Johnson and Pacheco and a 2020 size second. That probably wasn't English on my end. For Pittman and B-Rob and 2027 second. So many twos.
Yeah, sorry about that.
There's a lot of twos.
It's just a lot of twos from this guy.
Deontay Johnson and Pacheco plus a second round pick. I mean, long term, it's probably the second side of things.
Let's see what Keep Trade Cut says. There's just so many. Yeah.
You weren't sure who to start at wide receiver 2. I think you have the right guys in.
All right. So
I really like Josh Downs this week, but I feel like you're probably not going to start him over Diggs or Worthy, so that makes sense.
all depends if Sir Flacco is playing. I don't know any of these players. So my lead is Deontay Johnson and Pacheco for Pittman and B-Rob. I mean, in theory, the second round picks to a degree cancel out unless you're getting two 2027 ones. That's the hard part here. So let's figure this out together. What does the market say? I like Deontay Johnson a lot, but I don't know how much value he and Pacheco really hold. Whereas Brian Robinson is continuing to ascend. He's the real value piece of this whole deal. Just one pick each? All right. We'll say mid-second from each of you. My assumption is it's going to lean towards Deontay's side, according to the market, though. Fair trade according to the market, but slightly in a value towards the Pacheco side. I don't know. Brian Robinson's got a more fun future than Pacheco, it looks like, at this point. Pacheco's going to have to be coming back from an injury, which doesn't look the most fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably cooked for this year, but I feel like Pacheco long-term, like there's none of these guys they brought in have any risk of taking his workload once he's back, so...
It'll be a good running back draft, though.
Brian Robinson's job gets taken at some point than Pacheco's.
I don't know. I feel like Pacheco, there's more likely to draft somebody this year than...
Your mic's turned out?
Of course. All right. Moving on to the next one here. All right. Week 5, start sit. Got offered Evans and London / Mixon for A.J. Brown. I mean, in theory, you want the Evans and London side. But it seems that you have Evans in London. So I would personally rock with this squad. I don't think you need to trade away anything. I like what you have. It's more stacked than not. Yeah, good squad. All right. 2-2 PPR 8-man. Like lasers. Kyler Murray, Bijan, Henry, DJ Moore, Marv, Trey McBride, Terry McLaurin, Xavier Worthy. Let's see here. Yeah, strong team. You got Jalen Hurts chilling on the bench, Zach Moss, Brian Thomas chilling, Booper Bupp chilling. I just don't want Derrick Henry for the end part of the season. I think it's just going to continue to get worse for him as the season progresses. He'll have his spots. Perhaps this will be another one because I think Tampa Bay is still beat up. But, well, no, he's going against Cincinnati. So I got that mixed up there. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be holding on for Derrick Henry for the rest of the season. But I like this squad a lot. Absolutely stacked. It's kind of what you would expect in an 8-man. All right. Moving on to the next one. And if you're new here, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. Dak or Stroud, I'm always going to be a man of Stroud. Let's see here. Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison, Neighbors. Yep. Really strong squad. You got Mason and Whittington. Terry on the bench. Okay. Fields in a super flex. Yeah, I mean, you have ascending values. In theory, you can do some 2-for-1s to trade up and off of Mason and potentially Whittington, but I think they're fine for now. Whittington will hopefully have a nice little bump while Cooper Kupp is out here for the next few weeks, but we'll find out this weekend. Fun little value guy this weekend. That's about it. Yeah, not really too much else to be said on this squad. Just another really stacked team. You have 2 mobile guys in a super flex. That tends to do well. Baker or Fields, probably going to lean towards Fields for the mobility.
Wait, go back to that team for 1 sec. Would you be starting McLaurin or Bucky for Whittington there?
I like Whittington a lot this week. I think he's fun. It should be, if you're going to keep pace with this Packers squad, because Jordan Love was healthy by the end of the game is basically how I looked at it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to throw the ball. If I remember correctly, he had the 28% target share this past weekend. I was like, all right, let's take some shots there. I think Terry's a fine pivot. Bucky is a fine pivot if you want to take your chances there, but I think Bucky is risky this week. But we will see. Whereas Green Bay, I don't think they have the best secondary in the world, but perhaps there's better options to target. I am worried about going against Cleveland, though.
Green Bay's run defense has been an issue, too, so they might just...
Yeah. Let's see. All right, we got Kyler, Aaron Jones, Kamara, Godwin, Garrett Wilson, Trey McBride, Leggett, Samuel Darnold, Kareem Hunt, Bucky Irving, Cole Kmet, Jackson Smith, Amon-Ra St. Brown. You'd hold on Achane. Yeah, just because if Tua does come back or Tyler Huntley actually figures out how to call a play correctly, the offense might actually figure out how to work. But these are all assumptions. I'd rather take my chance on talent more often than not. I don't want to be selling away players like Achane if I don't have to. Because you're never going to get like the value back that you actually are selling them for in that moment. Let's see here.
I think I'm starting JSN, maybe even Hunt over Leggett. I don't love Leggett's matchup this week.
Let's see here. JSN definitely want to start him over Leggett. He's getting a lot more volume too. Like he had 12 targets this past weekend.
He could have had a matchup game.
Yeah.
Like you don't want to be fading JSN. Leggett's fun. Like last week was a fun week to start Leggett. Like if you want to talk about like prop markets, I think he's a really fun player just because it's like I don't think markets know how to understand the new meta of like NFL where you're just seeing a lot of these type of players just get involved a lot more in the run game. So I think you can take advantage of that.
The Bears defense has been good too. Like I don't know.
Bears defense is good. I just wouldn't want to touch it. Kamara is fine. Jones is fine. Jones has had crazy usage, surprisingly. But these are guys that I just don't see like lasting towards the end or part of the season that I would just be trying to trade off of. They're great now. Like they're awesome. But there's like 2 to 3 phases in an NFL season. So I would be trying to move off of Jones and Kamara for the later part of the year. But that's just my 2 cents. Bucky Irving's the fun upside swing. Kareem Hunt looks like he's going to be the guy there. Yeah, I like the squad a lot. And you get Trey McBride back this week. That's going to also be interesting. I guess Seattle's probably going to be a really good defense this week because I don't think Malik Neighbors plays. So if there's no Malik Neighbors, then they're probably screwed on offense for the Giants. But we will see. Malik. I just don't see Kamara being healthy for the rest of the season. Like, that's just my thought process. Like, if you're an older running back, what is the probability they make it through a 17-week season? Has to be low. So I'm trying to go for the young guys. So it's like Bijan sucks right now, but like he does get to play the Commanders in week 17. I still believe that's a good spot to target, especially because of the pace. But only time will tell. Maybe go buy low on Brian Robinson. He will still don't understand how good he is. Limit. All right. 10-man PBR Dynasty running back depth this week. Would appreciate the help. Assuming a trade is necessary this week. Yeah, you took a lot of pain. You've got good running backs there with Gibbs and Mason. Let's see here. 75 points last week. Damn. I would be moving off of Kirk personally, unless if you believe he's the receiver that's going to get traded. In which case, then yeah, it's probably better to hold him. I mean, for a dynasty squad, I love this. Outside of Kyle Pitts. Just because as I preached the offseason, I thought he was a next year player. Let's see here. You'd be doing better. Pretty much. Kirk's just a hard one to value. Zay Flowers is going to be very up and down on how good of weeks he has. JSN, that was just unlucky. Yeah, I think this week you're just kind of had a bad week. That's all I can really say about this squad, especially for Dynasty. Like, there's going to be better weeks ahead. Rashee Rice hopefully won't tear his ACL on the first play again because you're not starting him.
I still like Zay a lot this season. It just that felt like a weird game where
they're in front.
They were up all games. They didn't really need to throw the ball, and the run was just way too easy that there was no reason to throw the ball. So that just felt like a matchup that was never going to go well based on game script and how much success they had on the ground. I feel like there's going to be games where teams now are gearing up on the run because Henry's had 202 straight games, and they have to look elsewhere. Zay Flowers can become that guy.
I mean, J.K. Dobbins is a fine point filler. Probably Jaleel, I guess, just because it's like they're going to be looking for someone to replace Javonte. Like, they hate Javonte. Audric is the clear answer for the future, but Zay or Amari Cooper, I prefer Zay because I think that Amari Cooper is at a dynasty just age cliff, essentially, and nothing's going to go his way. I'm curious to see if Jameis will be brought in at some point.
Yeah, if it's Jameis, are you higher on Amari?
I'd like to be, but at that point, I feel like they're just kind of like, all right, let's see what else we have on this team. We're just kind of saying, screw it.
Like, I think a healthy Njoku could nuke with a Jameis.
Njoku healthy would be awesome, but he's got to get there first. But for this
week, I'm not sure what his status is.
If this is Dynasty, though, I would sell out of McCaffrey. Like, you're probably not going to get a lot for him, but, like, there's no real reason to have McCaffrey on this Dynasty squad, even if you're playing for, like, playoffs. Like, you have Mason at this point.
Who's equal value to McCaffrey, you think, in a Dynasty format?
I'm just looking for equity. Let's see what the market says.
Is it like...
I feel like you can always get
less
more
than Brian Robinson.
Let's see. What can you get according to the market here? So Christian McCaffrey, it has a mid first, Drake London, Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle. Oh. So this is the range it's saying.
Jalen Waddle's fun.
Yeah. I mean, I still think you can get more than this for McCaffrey, realistically. But I don't think this is a bad start. But that's just kind of I'm not really interested in Emmanuel Wilson. Like, what's he going to do? Like, take carries behind. Josh Jacobs, that's not ideal.
Yeah, Jacobs is locked up for a bit.
It's a sleeper one. There's a lot of sleeper ones here.
Jonathan Brooks is a fun dynasty pick.
Like Glazers. Yeah, I mean, defenses, I don't really have any true leans yet this week because it's like I don't really understand the injuries just yet. My kind of guess is like try to get Seattle because if there's no neighbors, then they should be good.
Mm-hmm.
But I still want to see the offensive line stuff.
I also like New England, probably the Dolphins too, both teams in that matchup.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to go get Antonio Gibson. It's the one before this one. Yeah, I mean, still for this team, like it wouldn't really matter for defense. Like we'd be telling you the same thing, regardless of the team. But going back to this one, all right. I don't think. Well, we did this team. Yeah. Let's see here. Jay Hare, don't know who you should pick up to replace Andrews, and know if you should start Achane or Chuba. I would go get Tucker Kraft if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here.
He might have been picked up yesterday, but
yeah, you're gonna have Laporta. No, you're not gonna have Laporta. You can't really drop anyone either. I mean, I guess you can drop Mark Andrews, or at that point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna drop someone, he's the guy, or you just start Andrews and hope.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the smarter option is to technically just start Mark Andrews and not overthink it.
Yeah, if Tucker Kraft isn't around, then probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, you also have. Oh, no, I guess it's just two quarterbacks. Yeah. Yeah, it probably has to be Mark Andrews, if anyone, but I would suggest just starting Mark Andrews.
Yeah. Like, I would stick with this team you have here. And it continues the same old song with Jordan Mason. But I think better days
are up with Mark Andrews and Laporta in the first place. But
somebody probably dropped him, honestly.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Wicks or Leggett. I'd play Wicks this week. Does Shakir ever play on the yeah, I mean, Shakir's been good. He's had a couple spike weeks so far. It's just all about is he healthy is the question mark. And then Fields and Richardson are fine to have with one another. I like whatever quarterback goes against the Jags this week a lot. So if it's Richardson, I like him for mobility. If it's not, and it's Joe Flacco, then I like him. But we will see how they do. All right, let's see here. Sleem or Slurm. Trying to move Moss right now off his high past 2 weeks because a few of the teams in your league are hurting for running backs right now. Might try to see if you can get HN for him. I like that. May consider picking up Chase Brown and dropping QJ too, but probably only if you can trade Moss. I think that's a fine strategy.
Chase Brown's on waivers?
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised. But yeah, I mean, another really strong team here. Not much to be said. Not really interested in Kirk. Jordan Addison had a nice little spike week on his first game back. Yeah, we'll see kind of how it does this week. I'm not super into holding Samuel with Jaden Daniels. That's just me. I think you can have more flexibility on your roster here for depth, but that's really about it. I like the squad. I like the strategy. Not really much to be said here.
Yeah, I don't know if the A-Chain owner is going to be selling at his lowest point right now, but if he is.
Yeah, if he is, then take him up on it. If not, so be it. Purdy or Baker, I lean more towards, I don't know yet. Jones, Lawrence, or Richardson, probably going to lean you towards Richardson if he's healthy. 12-man PPR, trade some depth to make your starters better. You're 2-2 right now. Sit Jordan Love. I'd start Love. But as I said, still familiarizing myself with all the matchups this week. HN Walker. Walker looked great this past weekend. Yeah, strong squad. Not much to be said here, man. Surprised you're 2-2. A really strong team.
Chase had some bad weeks. Kenneth Walker missed some time. It kind of makes sense.
I'm very curious to see what happens with Ramondre Stevenson here and Antonio Gibson. Kyler, Justin Fields this week. What do you guys lead? I haven't looked into the matchups too much. Still trying.
Probably Justin. I mean, Kyler against the Niners, in theory, you should be throwing the ball a lot, but like
it's just a good defense.
Yeah,
is my problem.
Yeah, there will be a turnover in there.
Where's Justin? Where are you playing, sweet Pookie Bear? Mr. Fields. We were playing against the Cowboys. Cowboys defense kind of overrated. I kind of like leaning that way.
Yeah,
I just
both
want
the
to
rushers are hurt.
more. Yeah. All right, where was the thing?
Patriots defense, a home run.
Yeah. It's I don't really like the pay. Like this is easily a spot where HN could like break one off for like 40 plus. That's my concern about starting against the Dolphins each week is like, yeah, we're all gonna like joke about it. But one of these days, that little nerdy little shit is gonna get there and he's gonna figure it out and he's gonna break one off for like 70. He's gonna be like, so there's the opening in the defense. Press control 7.
Tyler Huntley was just such a bad idea. That was never gonna go well.
Yeah, it never was, but I just have a lot of faith in Mike McDaniel. A lot of people give him shit for no reason. And I'm just kind of like, I believe in the nerds. And
yeah, but there were so many quarterbacks that would be more fit to run an offense like that on quick notice. Like Tyler Huntley is not a guy that's picking up an offense like that. And even if he is, he's not like accurate enough to plug him into an offense like that where you're making a lot of short throws and stuff. Like he just made too many mistakes on.
Tyler Huntley was a Pro Bowl QB.
Yeah, he is good. I think my issue and probably the issue with him, dude, he's a completely a one read quarterback. Like he's good and accurate with one single read and that's it. So it's like he can target Tyreek, but they have such a versatile offense that I don't think it works.
I don't know.
I also just think he didn't know any plays. Like they were just
he didn't know a single one.
Dude, and I love
just run or just throw it like on a screen pass every time.
It's like, Jalen, you take it. I don't know what I'm doing here.
Yeah, I loved those posts of like Tyler pulling up to the facility before the game, like with the playbook in his hand, like Tyler Huntley locked in with the playbook.
Like, he doesn't know it is what that means.
Yeah.
He has no idea what's happening. Yeah, no, I feel bad for the Dolphins. Hopefully it gets better.
Better times ahead.
All right, let's see. I like the team overall here, though. Not much to be said here once again. If anything, be concerned about Antonio Gibson, which I think is a hilarious person to turn to when this guy is the person who's having fumbling problems. So he's like, all right, Ramondre's having fumbling problems. I think we're going to have to take some chances with Antonio Gibson. So you mean the other guy with fumbling problems?
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. All right. Mike A, should you add Leggett or Wan'Dale Robinson to your team off waivers? I mean, Wan'Dale is probably going to have like a 40% target share this week.
I don't know who you drop per se, but that feels like maybe the other defense.
Yeah, I guess that would be about it. Like you don't really even need to drop anything here. This is
I would
another
drop the Lions defense probably.
I feel like you're Krispy Kreme with the amount of glaze.
It's a good team.
Yeah. Let's see here. Burrow, Kyron, Mixon, Jamar Chase, Tyler Lockett, Sam Laporta. Finally, somebody who has some pieces that suck. Tank Dell, Josh Downs. You don't need Lockett, in my opinion, but he continues to get targets each week. Just bane of my existence.
If your budget is 100 fab, I think that's a lot. But if it's 250 or 200, I like how you allocated it.
Yeah, I just don't know much about fab, so I'll leave that to Grant.
I would say
fine late swing.
Wix is good for like 15 to 20-ish% of your budget. So if your fab budget is like 200, I feel like you're in a great spot. If it's 100, I think you're going a little overboard. But he is my favorite ad of the week. You got to this late. Maybe you already have him on your team or something. But if you're in chat, let us know how it went.
Yeah, I like the Wicks ad a lot. I think that's really good for your team. I think he'll be better than Josh Downs. If there is Joe Flacco, then I really like Josh Downs. The fact you can put Devonta Adams on your injured reserve here is crazy to me. But that's a whole nother thing. I don't mind your running backs. Obviously, if Mixon's out again, then you're kind of screwed. I guess that's why you went out and got Sermon. But yeah, solid squad. I think it's fine. Don't know what your fab budget was, like Grant was pointing out, so we can't really help you there. Thoughts on selling Kai? I wouldn't really sell Kyron high. I think he's here to stay. All right. Next squad. Ridley or Whittington rest of season. Probably Ridley out of technicality, but Whittington I prefer if he actually does boom. I hope he does. Jaden Daniels, Aaron Jones, Jordan Mason, DK Metcalf, Malik Neighbors, Patty Fry, Jonathan Taylor, Broncos defense. Broncos country. Tay Adams, James Cook, Amari Cooper, Sam Laporta, Scary Terry, Devo.
Start Devo.
I can't tell if your bench is on the right or left, man.
But I think it's Jaden.
Gotta be the right.
The starter, yeah.
No, I was just making a joke. It's like you have a ridiculous squad.
Oh yeah.
How small is this league? Yeah.
Yeah, like this is a ridiculous team.
Yeah.
Half of the people that you have sitting on your bench should be starting.
How'd you draft?
I think this guy just wants to start sit.
Yeah. He said, "Look, a Krispy Kreme, time to get glazed." Moving forward.
Drafted McCaffrey, and how do you pull that off?
Wicks or Worthy, I'm leaning towards Wicks for right now, but Worthy's probably the correct play. Wage, Wolfman, PPR. Wondering if you should try and move Moss or DJ Moore. Maybe Moss and Wicks for Ramondre. The guy whose coach just went out today and said, shit, he fumbles the ball a lot. Might have to go for the other guy that has to fumble the ball a lot. So my thoughts on that, don't do that. But Moss for DJ Moore, or DJ Moore. No, I'd keep those players, man. There's better days ahead of them. Zach Moss, I don't mind selling high on him. Just don't do it for Ramondre. Better players. You can honestly probably pull off Zach Moss for Devon Achane. Like, that is honestly probably reasonable at this point for how many people hate the Dolphins offense. Oh, you can probably get Tyreek Hill for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you can get Tyreek Hill for a pinch of dollar or a pinch of penny. But only time will tell. I like the squad, though. Nothing really to be said here. I like your receivers a lot. Great schedule ahead for DJ Moore. Garrett Wilson might have to deal with Devontae Adams, so we'll see. But yeah, another strong squad. Anybody that you guys
talking about that says Ramondre may be benched.
Yeah. Anything for running back, though, that he could look for Zach Moss that you guys would encourage?
I'm trying to think of a good buy low. I mean, Achane, I guess, but I feel like a lot of Achane owners are pretty passionate about him in general.
I'd probably like
Jacobs, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know if you could pull that off, but I think you could create a package
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think of someone that's had a pretty mediocre last couple weeks. There's been a lot of like big boom situations recently that I feel like people aren't going to sell.
What would you have to give up for it to get Bijan in theory? Because he hasn't really been
Bijan's a good one.
this crazy ceiling.
It's probably like
Deontay and Moss
or Garrett.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Deontay and Moss would be like getting lucky with a sell high, I think, but
I'd be picking up Tucker Kraft. I think that's going to be more relevant going forward. Nice thing about Jordan Love is that he actually got better as the game progressed. It wasn't just like, oh, well, Brian Floyd said, like, here's my blank and take it. He just actually got better. All right, let's see here. Effie Blood, drop Myers, Williams looking for trade targets. You got Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry. You got the old squad at running back. Encourage finding.
Did you say dropped Myers? I don't know about that one.
Yeah, Myers is an interesting one. I don't know who you dropped him for. I can understand dropping Williams.
For sure. But, I mean, Jacoby is the wide receiver one probably for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I don't understand the Myers one, honestly. Trying to think with the squad. Yeah, I would just be trying to find different running back options for later parts of the season. I just think that Henry and Kamara will be good for now, but later I have concerns. Godwin, CD, I think are cool. Komet's fine. Shakir is okay. I'm just curious to see who exactly you dropped them for in reference to Myers and Williams. But yeah.
Like even if it was Wicks or someone I'm really high on, I feel like Jacoby might be better value the rest of the season, but
Jacoby's got better days ahead. I would like to think. But yeah, I mean, I like the squad. I'm just not entirely sure what you dropped these players for if this isn't technically the squad we're looking at. Mm-hmm. It's a 10-man league. True. I mean, yeah. Is Taysom the ultimate stash? I mean, yeah, we saw Taysom take 2 touchdowns away from Kamara this past weekend. It's why I thought it was interesting this past week. That's part of his interest overall. It's just like Kendre Miller, he's going to be activated this week. We'll see if he becomes relevant in the offense. I kind of doubt it.
He's going to be like not even just activated off it, but he's going to be on the.
I highly doubt about like he gets like on the field this week, but he's going to at least get moving because he should be coming off of IR. Trade targets, it's just Bijan is somebody I want in the end of the year. Brian Robinson, I think, is a guy you can get for pretty cheap still.
Do we think Bijan scores this week?
I'd like to think so. Like, that's the part that I'm trying to, like, look into right now is, like, when I find my must-start guys, so to speak, I'm trying to think it's, like, who's the most likely to potentially score this week? Because that's typically when you hit your ceiling value is you hit that 6 points because that's at least 30% of your production. So I'm having a hard time with the running backs this one. Hunt, Jennings, or Pickens as your flex? Not sure yet. That's why I haven't gone too hard in the start.
Probably George.
All righty. Moving on to the next squad. Jordan Love, Singletary, Jonathan Taylor, Brandon Ayuk, Brian Thomas, Trey McBride, Dontavian Wicks, Abby. All right. Traded Pacheco for BTJ and Singletary. I like that a lot. Let's see here. Flex and defense.
Pacheco for that's a crazy deal. How'd you pull that off?
Defense, I don't know if the Patriots are fine, I guess. Unfortunately, Waddle's not great right now. Rice got injured, which sucks. I feel like you can start selling high on JMO once he kind of gets a little bit more consistent for you. But like, I like being able to sell on him. I think you can upgrade him off of single.
Yeah. It depends on the kind of people in your league. Like me personally, if I looked at the week JMO had, I would not be stoked about it because outside of the one catch, he had like one catch for 7 yards or something like that. Like it wasn't like the most exciting week, but he does seem to have those big plays a lot. So maybe it's less fluky than it seems, but
yeah,
it wasn't the most inspiring week. I feel like he's kind of just like Rashid Shaheed vibes.
Pretty much. I mean, that's how a lot of these guys are. That's the thing with fantasy.
It's like prime Gabe Davis.
Prime. Let's see here. Jonathan Taylor. That's going to suck for you this week. You need another running back. That's kind of the issue here. So I guess you're going to plug and play Trey Sermon, which is going to be interesting. But yeah, you need to bulk up your running backs for the later part of the year. Jordan Love is fine. I'd just be trying to tear up your running backs as much as possible. That's really what this team is lacking more than anything. I think it's fine with the receivers realistically. But that's what I would do. All righty. Andrew in a 10-man PPR. Jaden Daniels, Cook, Kyron, Chase, Jefferson, Kincaid, Jacobs, Cam Akers, Braylon Allen, Zach Charbonnet, Bucky Irving, QJ, Among Us, Santos, Browntus, and Dante Dion Wicks, the future Devontae Adams. Your running backs are really solid. Do you grab Justice Hill, Jaleel, or Gibson off of waivers? Justice Hill, he seems to be in the best offense and has an actual real role. Gibson definitely has a good spot for this potential weekend, but that's about it. This is a good squad. James Cook seems to have a very relevant role. He isn't going away. Kyron Williams, more than fine. Jacobs, more than fine. God squad here. Andrew, well done.
That's great team.
Yeah.
Maybe you trade off of someone because you can't start all these guys every week with Amon-Ra healthy. So it just kind of, I guess you have buys and stuff. It might be since it's a 10-man league, you might just want to keep your depth a little, I guess. But maybe sell high on I don't know, James Cook or something. You just have a lot of guys.
That and strangle your league mates from all the good players. Justin Fields, Achane, Connor, Higgins, Lamb, Kraft, Ford. Let's see here. We need somebody named Cheese for this. Kraft and Cheese. Kraft's mac and cheese.
Well, since you're his biggest hater, what do you think about all the Nick Chubb news this week?
We'll see how he does when he comes back. The offense has been awesome so far. So I'm sure he's going to help it get better. I'm just not a big believer in the Browns offense this year. I'm just believing that's going to fall apart.
And a guy who's taken away both of his knees twice now.
Yeah, I just don't see it at this age. It's just a game of attrition. And 90% of the time, I feel you're just betting on the young guys to just die. Yeah. And it's okay, he did good. Now I need to go find the next young guy. You get to be Leonardo DiCaprio every time you talk about running back. You just want to be younger and younger.
Yeah.
Or did he, I guess. But anyways. Achane, Connor, Higgins, Lamb, How to Get Canceled 101. Jordan Mason, Garrett Wilson, Jennings. That's a lot of questions. Higgins is always just an ugly play, but it's a good one. It's the same thing with Connor. They're technically good for their value.
Jordan Mason, Garrett Wilson, and Jawan Jennings for K9, Mike Evans, and James Conner. Give me the second one.
Yeah, I feel you want the second side. You don't really want Jennings and Mason.
Of those guys, Alec, definitely Gibson.
Yeah, anytime that you get players that were off of waivers for players that were drafted in the first few rounds, that's always a win. But yeah, this squad here, I'm trying to think of what would I do differently. Ford has a good matchup this week in theory, right?
Yeah, and you just have tough bye weeks and injuries and stuff to manage. There's not a ton you can really do there. I would be selling Fields probably if he plays well this week. Because, realistically, even if he's playing well, you're probably going to start Hurts over him anyway. So it just kind of puts you in a tough spot if you just
there's so much liability to the
get rid of the problem. Yeah, I agree.
What happens when he has that Fields-esque game where he just completely falls apart?
Yeah, so if he plays well this week, you have to start him this week. So I would play him, keep him. If he plays well, then you figure out if you want to sell off or pivot a little.
The season's felt fast, but it's also felt so slow at the same time. Is Keenan Allen droppable? No, because when he's healthy, he actually is good at football. But we'll see if he's healthy. That's the bigger question. Drop Coleman for Wicks. All depends on your team needs, my friend. I don't know if I do that with Shakir potentially sitting out this week, though. All righty. Let's see. Doughboy, Anthony Richardson, Achane, Chuba, Deontay Johnson, Garrett Wilson, Kincaid, Leggett. He said Carolina scored points this weekend. And it did for him.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
Wicks, Seahawks, Chase. What's hilarious though is that like this was over 60 points right here with these.
Yeah, it was.
The tactical right start.
Like I don't know what you do about this, but your bench only has like one guy that is healthy, or two guys that are healthy, and it's Ronnie Rivers and Luke McCaffrey. So it's just not,
which is objectively hilarious.
Like the rest of those guys are all either out for the season or like, I mean, Chubb I just don't see being super effective, but like something needs to be done there. I don't know.
I guess let's drop Ronnie Rivers and maybe try to find someone more current.
I think you can get rid of Pacheco. I don't think you need Pacheco.
You get by for a week and then you get news and you can drop Rashee Rice probably.
Yeah. As soon as the Rice news comes out, which should be season ending, like you can drop him. But like you have to wait on the news. Pacheco, I just don't think there's a world that they want him back before the playoffs if he does come back. And if they do, it's going to be like testing him would be my bet. Like I don't think that they're going to be like, let's give you a full workload, buddy. Let's try out this leg again. Make sure it's real tough. Like I doubt it. Is Mostert still worth a rostered spot? I mean, if you believe that this offense is going to turn it around without Tua, then you should keep Mostert. Let's see here. Luke McCaffrey's and we'll see if he gets better. I just can't fathom rostering Ronnie Rivers, but I guess I see the vision. Yeah, you need to build up your RB2 here, technically over 2, because that's just not going to last. And like Leggett and Wicks are not the most ideal for the flex either, unfortunately.
No, sir.
So if you can tear down off of Richardson, but we're going to need a good week off of him. And last
fun
week
for this week, though. I think both those guys are perfectly fine to start this week in the format of this league.
We'll see how this one does because it's not looking too optimistic. And remember, if you are in here and you're wondering, it's like, I missed my team or whatever, you can always go back in the live. These are all not pre-recorded, but recorded live here. And you just go in the live tab, you click it, and it's like, here's the recording. And you can listen back to us and be like, this was wise. Or you can be like, Wells doesn't know ball. He sucks at this. Boo. The usual. Whatever you need. Moving on to the next stand, 12-man full PPR, half point per rush attempt. That's fun. And you have the quarterback that actually rushes. That's really good. And you have Taysom Hill. Well, congratulations on winning your league.
That's a crazy format.
Taysom Hill has to be so overpowered in these weird formats because like when he does like actually score, it's just so many fantasy points because he just does it in so many different ways. But Zay Flowers is good. Marv is fine. I would try to go get Debo in a league like this. He's going to be really overpowered, and his value is going to be really cheap right now. Really like him a lot. I think players like Xavier Leggett are actually really good in these formats. Jaden Reed, really good player in this type of format. Xavier Worthy, also really good. I believe that Grant was just trying to make a hint at that one. Let's see here. But yeah, in this type of league, I would just be trying to get those type of players. Those be a little bit more valuable to me. I don't think that Zay is really involved as much in that sense. But let's see here. For kick return, punt return yards, that's crazy. I'm trying to think about anybody else that could be good. Let's see here. But yeah, that's all that kind of comes to mind for me with this team. Outside of that, it's cracked. Is it a play to drop Pitts for Parkinson? I mean, the vision is that better days ahead are going to come for Pitts, but only time will tell. Trade Mason or keep him, all depends on for who. So that game. Kyler Murray, Andy Dalton, Superflex. Tyreek Hill, Debo, James Conner, Brian, Trey McBride, Jason Reed, Gibbs, and Puka. I like the squad. Fun squad. Not really much to be said here. Like, if anything, you can probably get rid of some of these defenses because I don't know if you need 4 defenses for this. I don't know how many defenses you're playing. But yeah, really strong squad here, man. Not much to be said. You've got Gibbs, Richardson, and Puka, one of which is on IR on your bench. So.
Looks like he plays 2 defenses.
Drop McBride for Hawkinson in 2 weeks. No, I think that Trey McBride has got a very good argument to likely be the tight end 1, and it gives you really good correlation for Kyler, which is really good. Yeah, really strong squad here, man. Should you trade Achane and Worthy for Marvin? No. Who?
Do you think Hawkinson will be effective once he's back?
I mean, he'll be effective around week 10.
Yeah.
Like, that's what's hilarious is, like, not really any of these guys that people want to be effective now aren't going to be effective till, like, about 4 or 5 weeks. Let's see here. All right, here. Moving on here. Let's see here. Fields, Achane, White, Jefferson, Reed, Kincaid, Pickens, JSN, Algier, Mark Andrews, Trey Benson, Burrow, Dowdle, Odunze, Adams. Krispy Kreme outside of White. Another really strong team here. Just don't really have an answer for you for Rachaad White here. You do need to be trying to pivot off of that. I'd sell high on Fields, realistically. Everybody hates White. Like, that's just kind of the deal right now. So you're not going to get any value for him. But I would be trying to upgrade that spot if I can.
What's the best destination for Devontae, you think?
I mean, he's going to be a Jet or he's going to be a Saint. It's one or the other.
A Saint would be the best spot for him. I think the Jets just would be kind of gross.
Oh, Jets would be gross. It would piss off a lot of people. It would be honestly annoying. Yeah, nobody's going to get anything for White. But you can play more Fields and maybe Dowdle. I think you can potentially sell Dowdle. You can sell the concept of Adams. My concern is that, like, the concept and reality are a very true thing. If Adams gets paired with Aaron Rodgers, like, I do think that would work.
What do you think about Commanders?
Commanders, I doubt it happens.
Yeah.
You're 2-2. I don't understand how that happens, Nova. But that's what it is. Yeah, I like this team overall. Like, the only theoretical hole is this RB2 slot. But yeah, 0.5 point per rush, that is weird. But, I mean, Taysom really did only play this past week. But notice when he did play, he got 2 goal line rush attempts. So that was probably close to a 20 or at least 15 fantasy points for you this past weekend. All right, let's see here.
Which for a tight end might as well be 40.
Yeah, let's see here. Helios, 12-man PPR. You don't know what to do this week with injuries to Rice and JT and buys. Josh Allen, Jonathan Taylor, Brian Robinson Jr., Justin Jefferson, DK Metcalf, Dontavian Wicks. All right, let's see here. Bucky Irving, J-Mo, J.K. Dobbins, Calvin Ridley, Ladd McConkey, Mostert, Sermon. I understand the fill-in for Sermon. The problem is he sucks.
There's only one problem.
He's awful.
He sucks. Yeah, but I mean, it's just the kind of guy where you fill him in for a week or two. You have guys on bye or whatever, and like
you just kind of roll with it. It's like Cam Akers.
15, 16 touches. Let's say he falls in the end zone, you're guaranteed like 11 points. You call it
exactly. Yeah, it's like Cam Akers all over again. You're like, oh yeah, it's points, and it's like, the expectations.
Exactly.
They were, yeah. But I like the squad. Not much to be said here. It's just. Yeah, divisional correlation. Wicks, Jefferson will be fun for week 17 because I just don't see Christian Watson being healthy. That was the preseason assumption, and we're still there. DK Metcalf, I think that's 3 straight games of over 100 yards.
Yeah, he's going in.
And he's been so really like the spot against the Giants. My concern is blowout potential without Neighbors. I think Ridley's a sell high still just because I think it's going to be D-Hop's offense as the season progresses further, but only time will tell there. Supposedly they wanted to run the ball the whole entire time before they even put Mason Rudolph in for the injury that Will Levis had. I don't know how much of that I buy, but we will see. I like the squad. It's just, only time will really tell with a lot of these pieces. You have a lot of ticking pieces. Where's the Discord link? A lot higher in chat.
I can send it back in.
There you go.
Cool.
I'll get you with a few of them. A Richard Gino. I'm going to probably be towards Richardson if he plays this week, but that's if he plays. Let's see here. Abdul, remember that these are all saved in the live stream here. We've been live for about an hour, so you can always look back on that team as well when we chatted through it and our takeaways from there just as well. Let's see here. But yeah, I like this squad. You just kind of need to fill up the Jonathan Taylor gap, but you're technically doing that with Trey Sermon. All right. So we got Blandyshan. So resubmitting, considering a trade of AR and Deontay for Marv and Darnold. So for what it's worth, Deontay Johnson is the wide receiver one in expected fantasy points over the past 2 weeks. So you don't really want to be trading away this guy with Andy Dalton right now. He is the ultimate technical guy to have in fantasy. But I don't mind going for Marv. I just think that Deontay is a guy you want. And it's like, what if Andy Dalton – do you have something you want to say here, Miso? If you do have Deontay in this revenge game for Week 17, I just can't think of a better player to have. You're all good, Abdul. You're all good. But yeah, this is a strong squad once again, man. You don't need to change anything here. That's the hard part about fantasy that I've had to learn over time is that sometimes you just have a really fucking good team. You don't need to move. It's fine to be somewhat complacent at points, I guess. You just have all of the right pieces and you don't need to move. And that is what you're seeing with a lot of these teams. But we'll continue to try to move for better pieces as we can. But I like a lot of these teams personally. Perhaps they don't feel the best right now, but I like them a lot. So you're crazy. All righty. Jay, 10-man PPR. Brock Purdy, Mason, Kenneth Walker, Devonta Adams, Xavier Worthy, Trey McBride, Dontavian Wicks. You got a bunch of Eagles on the bench. And you got JMO, so it's bye week for you. Yeah, I mean, you got a really strong squad here. You just got bit with a little bit of injuries, some bye week. Yeah, I mean, you just gotta move with this, Jay. Nothing too crazy. This team is 3, so you got intermediate scoring or whatever. Yeah, I mean, better days are ahead of you. You might not win this week, but I'd still give you at least 47% chance. Just because it's we don't know Xavier Worthy's true usage. You have all the gaps filled. It's a strong team. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, probably should give you higher than that. I like it a lot, Jay. All right. Next squad. Dak, Cook, Mason, Godwin, Lamb, Fant, Kirk. I don't want to keep Kirk. I don't like holding on to Kirk, but watch him become the next Kansas City Chief, and then I look like a moron. Of course, drop my mic the other way. Even more genius. Yeah, it's another strong, fun squad here. I'm just not a big James Cook truther, but I understand that he's a lot better than I believe he is. Jordan Mason is fine as well, but as we said, somebody you want to move off of towards the latter part of the season, but I like that you have a handcuff with McCaffrey, so that's just as fine. Yeah, strong squad, man. I would just be trying to build up your flex here. I think that's your weakest link is your flex. And then you can always sub McBride back into your actual starting tight end spot. But yeah, I like the squad a lot. Should be fun. I want to say when I was going through defenses initially that Raiders stuck out as a sneakier option this week, right? Yeah, Raiders against the Broncos.
Yeah, against the Broncos.
Yeah, I like that. Let's see here. Next squad. All right, Lamar, Cook, Ramondre. I think we need to all be getting off Ramondre as much as possible right now. The love has completely left the building for Gerard Mayo. So I'm going to be getting a little bit more cautious with Ramondre stocks, but I love the matchup this week for what it's worth. Just all depends on who's getting the usage. But you have Gibbs, so really that's fine. Your team's ridiculous, Savage. I won't lie to you. Your team is ridiculous. So welcome to the Krispy Kreme. But that's all I really got for you, man. Your team's really ridiculous. You can eat your other. Let's see here. Always do it, Rocket One guy. Always. So I'd be a safer flex than Kirk. Yes, because he is a top 10 receiver in usage right now. Richardson, Cook, Mason, Collins, Terry McLaurin, Tucker Craft, Bijan Robinson. Yeah, another really stacked squad here, man. Welcome to Krispy Kreme. Don't know what else to tell you. Really stacked squad. If anything, you need to be trying to play more for Week 17. But you got to get there at the end of the day, and I think this is a good way of doing that.
Send Njoku to the Shadow Realm.
Yeah, we can do that. Let's see where it was. In Canales, we trust. Do you remember which one this was? Yeah, not sure. No problem, Christian. But yeah, that's really about it. I've been live here for about you're getting a trade done. We're gonna go two for everybody. What do you guys think about the trade for Abdul here?
Take a look. Just went back and I'm getting a trade done where I give up Garrett Wilson and Chuba for AJ Brown and
Run it.
Yeah.
Run it. Yeah. I mean, what's your record? If you if you're not like 0-4, do it.
And the thing is, you're getting AJ Brown, who we know is one of the best receivers in the league. We know
if you can afford, like, Chuba's gonna be better than Singletary for the next 3 weeks or 2 weeks, but then after that, Singletary is gonna be better, and then obviously AJ Brown is a bye, but he's gonna be back playing after that. So,
I like getting him. I think that if Adams is getting traded, the likelihood is he's going to be a Jet. Would be my assumption. I think that the Saints are a fun idea, but I think the Jet is more likely reality.
100%.
You submit the teams to YouTube. YouTube is in the bio. We're going to be going off of live now for what it's worth. But appreciate
we'll be back doing this tomorrow if you would like to submit it then.
And all you got to do is click the link in our YouTube chat. That'll take you to our Discord. And as you can see on the screen, you just DM me at Jamario Moon to get your team reviewed. We'll be sure to get you signed up quickly. Just follow the instructions that I send you in the DMs.
100%. But yeah, appreciate all likes, gifts, and follows, everything. It does mean a lot. Subscribe if you haven't already. But until next time, appreciate y'all. Talk to you later. And of course, have a great day. Peace now.
Peace.
Heal you.
Hell.